Hey everyone, it's Mark Howard from the Absolute Business Mindset podcast and YouTube channel, and also co-founder of Podcast Introduction Group, which is a podcast guesting agency. Today, I want to talk to you about, I've just literally hit record. I'd not planned this particularly. I have thought about it, but I wanted to share some things with you. So in the UK, it is Mental Health Week, and I wanted to do a video today about mental health and why it's important and why people should consider it a really crucial, critical thing. Am I going to say anything that other people have said before? Maybe, maybe not. But I feel it's important to sort of refocus our minds on mental health because it actually affects most people in some shape or form. It is completely and utterly indiscriminate. It will attack people, white, black, yellow, green, pink people, men and women. It will affect age groups, all across age groups, and many other terms of demographics. It will hit them. I have, in my time, struggled with mental health. I have spent periods of being particularly down and particularly low. Would I call it depression? Maybe, maybe not. I don't technically know if I was depressed, but when I experienced multiple bereavements, it was incredibly difficult to be able to manage and be able to really access what I needed to do. Now, one of my problems was that I still just continued on moving forward without actually going through the correct method of being able to process the bereavement, the loss of my father, my mother, and my brother. With my mother and brother dying particularly quickly together. So what does it mean to me? So what it means to me is that there are people that need our support. It could be your brother, it could be your mother, it could be your father, it could be a friend, it could be a colleague, it could be an acquaintance. But if you suspect that someone is having emotional difficulty and struggling with their life and how to keep it going, I urge you to reach out to them. Even if you just suspect it and you don't actually know it, they've not actually admitted it, because actually admitting it is a major step forward for people to actually say, I need help. Can you help me? So if you are suspecting someone is feeling down or low or unsupported, give them a call, message them, WhatsApp them, reach out, because you really could, when you're considering men, you really could save someone's life. The male suicide is exceptionally high, or mostly related to mental health issues. And so, but it doesn't just affect men, it affects women as well. I have had family members that have been severely depressed, and sadly, this is some years ago, we're probably talking 12, 14, 15 years ago, I didn't do as much as I could. And I still, even though they're better now, I still feel incredibly guilty about that I didn't recognize it and I wasn't there as I should have been. Now, I did make it up and everything is fine. Now everything is good. But that suffering that they experienced probably was prolonged by my lack of action. I wasn't the only person in that person's life, so there were other people that could have helped. But I personally take on some of the responsibility for their prolonged depression. And so I think it's one of those things that we need to keep on talking about. I do believe it is more prominent in people's minds, and that's great. That's really, really important that it is prominent. And we've tried to break down a lot of the taboos on depression, anxiety, sadness, bereavement. And so I think it's super important that we keep this in the forefront of people's minds. And as I say, it could literally be anyone that you know that can face this. Now, one of the other things that I think is often misinterpreted and misunderstood is people that suffer from larger, more serious conditions, and how people, even though it's more talked about, it still is a taboo. People with bipolar or with schizophrenia and those types of conditions, we do need to think that the only time we ever see these people on TV, on dramas, is when they've killed someone. And that is just not the case when it comes down to having serious conditions, but people can function really well and can be high achieving with those conditions. Now, these things are, again, are talked about even less than depression, anxiety. And so if you hear of people, friends, families, colleagues that are experiencing tricky times, I'm going to repeat myself and just say, just be there for them, reach out to them, find time to spend time with them, to make sure they're all right, make sure they're moving forward, make sure, in my case, it was moving faster than I should do without giving myself time to think about it and to go over those bereavements or those difficult times. So it is important, and what I'm trying to do here, this is, I don't really know how to end this. I don't have a great ending, but I wanted to talk about it, and I wanted to share my feelings and my thoughts about what was going on and what is going on specifically in the UK, but I know it impacts people in the US as well. One of the questions I'm now asking on my podcast, The Absolute Business Mindset, is what's their experience of mental health? And that can be them specifically. It can be, as I said, like a family member. And I'm asking that question specifically to bring it into conversation more often. And if all we need is someone to see this video and go, my friend Jack, John, whoever it is, I haven't spoken to them for a while. They didn't respond to my message last time. I wonder why that is. Now, they could be sitting at home in distress, maybe drinking, smoking, illegal drugs, or sometimes none of the above, and just literally just being too depressed to be able to function properly. So please do reach out to people that you suspect or you're concerned for. I know after talking to you now, there are two people that I've been thinking about messaging, and I have messaged them, but they've not come back to me with or I had a conversation with them about that. And I since starting this video, I'm just sort of reflecting while I'm talking to you that these people, they might be fine. They might just be really busy, and that's okay. That's okay in friendships. That if you're really busy, it's difficult to find the time for everyone, and being able to be able to respond in the way that they should. But equally, these people might be suffering, might be struggling, and so, as I say, friends, family, acquaintances, colleagues, whoever it is, if someone does open up to you, listen to them. Just listen. You don't have to give your opinion. I watched a video with Simon Sinek, and he said, in those types of situations, you need to sit in the mud with them. And that was really powerful for me, in that, because I try and fix things. I try and get things sorted, and how can I resolve that issue that you've got? But sometimes the most powerful, best way of dealing with these tricky situations is just sit there with them, be with them, listen to them, share with them, empathize with them. Don't try and fix it. Let them come to the point where they ask for your help. And if they do ask for your help, then you can sort of give suggestions on what you should do, what they should do, or how they can resolve their difficulty that they are experiencing. So, guys, I just needed to sort of share this. It's a very important week. Mental health is one of the most important things that you need to think about. Another, again, this is not original stuff, but the whole thing, if you had you broke your arm, you'd go to a doctor. Why sometimes people suffering from mental health issues don't get a therapist, don't spend time with other friends and family members helping them get over that. And if there's a taboo for you in therapy, I've been through therapy. I've been through it, and it really helped me. I was quite resistant to it. I didn't want to share everything, and I still struggle sometimes myself. But I think it's really important that if you need a therapist on top of the other support you have, or if there isn't the support that you need, using a therapist is super important and can be really, really life changing for you, thinking about your feelings and emotions. So, guys, I'm going to wrap it up there. As I say, there's probably nothing original in what I've said, but I think it's important to say it. And when you have Mental Health Week this week, I think it's important for us to talk about it and share about it, and really just go deep on it and share with. And so if someone's listened to this video and they think that either a friend is or family members hurt or in pain, or yourself, you're struggling in one way or another, please do reach out to people and talk to them. If you want to talk to me, which is probably unlikely, but if for whatever reason you feel that it would be important, you can click on my bio on LinkedIn. You can schedule a call. There's a schedule call button on the top of the LinkedIn message, a profile message. I'm here to help. If someone needs support and they, for whatever reason, think that I might be able to help, I'd be very happy to have a 30-minute conversation with them. So you can book that in yourself if you think that would be helpful to you.